This is WBBM TV Channel 2, Chicago. It's 5 o'clock, and it's time now for the 5 o'clock report. Thursday, September 11, 1969, with Wayne Ferris and the news, Brett Musburger and the sports, and John Coffin the weather. And now, Wayne Ferris. Good evening, everybody. Now that the Grove Village Teen Center is under construction, the search for a center director has been intensified. We hope to have chosen a director within the next couple of weeks, Sue Olson, Park District Reaction Superintendent, said yesterday. The Park District is responsible for hiring a director and providing a salary. It's seeking to hire someone at a starting salary of $7,200. We would like to have someone have a degree of field of recreation and related fields such as sociology. Ms. Olson said that she is hoping to find someone who has had some experience in this area if possible. More important than a degree of experience and an ability to relate to the kids in the teen community, she said. This is what we're searching to find. The Park District has interviewed several good candidates so far, according to Ms. Olson. The collection will not be made until Ms. Olson returns from the National Recreation and Park Association Convention to be held next week in Chicago. There will be about 700 people in the recreation field at the convention. I would like to look for the potential candidates at the convention, she said. Ms. Olson is responsible for finding a teen center director and president, and her choice is to Jack lined up Park District Director. I want at least some of the teens to be able to meet him before I make my final decision, she said. When I have someone in mind, I like to take him to the kids, say that they will accept him. Although the Teen Council is responsible for setting the rules and forming the programs that the Teen Center will be working with the director when he is hired. Construction at the Teen Center, which began last week, is scheduled to begin completed near the end of September or beginning of October. Ms. Olson reported that the construction company said the roof for the center night to go up within the next 2 weeks. Midway Construction and Engineering Company, Mount Prospect, is putting a indicated structure together in Lions Park. The building will have cost $73,000 when completed.
As Vermont and Maine, but you see most of those storms staying north of us.
How much will the special election cost to pick the interim 11th District Congressman, would you believe, near $3 million? It will cost the first congressional candidate a total of about $960,000. It will cost the taxpayers $87,000. The taxpayers, since the amount the near Hook County based for its had to provide for the expenses conducted in October 7th primary and November 25th general election. During regular election years, the county board participation expenditures with a special levy. Bill Curtis has a report. The figure listed for candidates in their optimum budget that HLFL mentioned during the interviews at Paddock Publications. Only Joseph Maffuson of Windtaker, known to be wealthy, refused to name his campaign figure. Maffuson said he was afraid to mention what's back of trying to buy the office. Opponent candidates credit Maffuson would have spent at least $850,000, so we went with that figure. Other Republican candidates and their list of budgets are John Nimrod of Skokie with $102,000, Alan Johnson of Kenworth with $88,000, Philip Crane of Winnetka with $75,000, Sam Young of Glenview with $43,000, Eugene Schlipman of Arlington Heights with $34,000. Gerald Marks of Willamette with $38,000, Yale Rowe of Winnetka with $80,000, and Laws American First Daily of Chicago with $1,000. Democratic Edward Warman of Skokie, unopposed in the bill primary, said today as share of raising $30,000 will keep to have a total of $40,000 in budget. As in most political campaigns, the candidates will rely on donations from supporters to finance their appeals to the public. Figures listed of serve will fluctuate on a candidate fortunes rises and falls. Nimrod took palms to explain the cost of an election, one of the basis of a $25,000 for operating a headquarters and providing buttons, literature, and car tops. He said the 11th man would cost about $17,000 for one mail-in to all district households, reaching 100,000 voters, and cost about $3,000 for one mail-in, just reaching 47,000 registered Republicans. So you count on 50,000 or 60,000 before the campaign starts, Nimrod, now Township GOP committeeman, said. He said a person not faced in the cost of providing an effective campaign is self-politically responsible. Expenses of the special elections are out of note since the congressman elected November 25th will serve only 3 months before the regular even-year congressional primary. By action of the 76th Illinois Central Assembly primary elections have been changed from the second Tuesday in June to the third Tuesday in March. The special election was at May 26th by Governor Richard B. Ogilvie, when the governor involved official segregation of the congressional post from Dunn Rumsfeld. That same day, Rumsfeld was named Director of the United States Office of Economic Opportunity and Special Advisor to President Nixon. From December 8th to 15th, less than a month from the general election date, the persons who want to be on the March primary ballot for Congress must file petitions of candidacy. Why spend so much spending for a special election? The 13th district is historically staunch Republican that given an edge for the Washington, D.C. trip to the winner of the 9-man GOP primary. And the incumbent congressman again still being given a greatest victory odds in the March race. So voters can speculate that the regular congressional race will be entire now ball game or rerun of fall plays. Someone with a fall election will merely act as eliminate the poor boys. The rich kids will be sitting again in March. Commenting on the recent lack of water in Elk Grove Village, Harry Mickelson, 42, Wildwood Road, the village board Tuesday that no citizen should have too much water either. Mickelson, an 11-year resident, said he has been plagued with water from a leaking storage tank owned by the village. He said that even the years the additional water could be yarded at the cost of 50 rose bushes, and my little dog can't even find a dry spot to relieve himself. Bill Curtis, WBBM News in Chicago.
Your sister and stepfather were on hand for
the Elk Grove Village Board Tuesday agreed to keep the way open so that Lundmeyer Road may someday become a 4-lane roadway. And although the board voted 4-2 to reduce the right-of-way from the road from 90 to 100 feet to 80 to 300 feet is still wide enough for a 4-lane divided roadway. Trustee Richard McGenera, who disagreed that Lundmeyer should be widened from the 2 to 4 lanes, said a maximum of 70 feet would be more than efficient for a future to the road. Also dissenting is a voting of Trustee Tom Bowman. I don't want a speedway that encourages traffic outside the village to see it. McGrenner said, I did at a wide pavement turn in boys and a large median strip will encourage this. We should discourage the use of Lundmeyer as a thorough street. McGrenner said, the net other streets such as Howard and Toy have been projected as future throughout the street. Other trustees said Lundmeyer will even actually be a 4-lane road at least east of Tawny Road, and that according to the village engineer, an 80-foot right-of-way would be needed. Trustee Charles Zelnick said increased use of Lundmeyer demands on the type of accessibility that 4 lanes would be broad. Last month, Louis Quinlan of the Cook County Highway Department told Plan Commissioner members that 100 feet is headed for the right-of-way is the country expected to widen the road to become a safe 4-lane roadway with a 16-foot median strip and going along with a 80-foot right-of-way. Trustee Ron Chernick said that the village engineer knows better what is needed than Quinlan. Village President Jack Paul, however, pointed out that the state and the county are more willing to spend money on road improvements, where the right-of-way provided. They'll look to get us. The right-of-way, he said, in another action, the board voted to give Fletcher Tech's 2001 Pratt Boulevard a signed variation for his purchase with a salt spreader unit from RH Lower Company of $1,041 authorized advertising for bids for a 100-foot aerial ladder fire truck and purpose in the Knights of Columbus at the Queen of Rosary Church to celebrate its normal corn boil on Sunday. Head Start programs at 4 northwestern suburban locations are tentatively scheduled to start September 23rd according to David Franchise, the program director, to start September 22nd. Fanhouse has said that 60 youngsters or 2/3 of the children will participate in the program must be first of physical examination to local doctors that have volunteered to give.
In fact, she died a day.
The examination next Wednesday and Thursday. Funds from the examinations will be provided from the Head Start budget. In addition to the physical examination, the children will also receive inoculations against several diseases. I believe that this is the first time that a mass examination and inoculation program has ever been given in this program, Fankhauser said. He also said that busing procedures at Head Start centers must be further refined. Fankhauser said that the fall program will probably start earlier than anticipated. I did not think the program could get underway such about October 1st. He said funds at the fall program have not been received and that the program would have to operate temporarily as surplus funds and from the summer session. Charles Hughes, executive director of the Cook County Office of Economic Opportunity, said the delay is receiving that the funds for the program, which would run from September to March, is due to be transferred to the Head Start program from OED to the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. This is an administrative delay only. Hughes said we must now deal with new people involved. Slightly different practice as a complicated on the funding process. Hughes said his office hopes to advance NORESCO, which was the contract to run Head Start, not only on the programming get underway later this month. The Head Start program is the preschool children from low-income families in the area. 4 Head Start centers operate in the churches in Arlington Heights, Wheeling, Palatine, and Dale Plains. Barbecued beef or pizza burgers, anyone? They're among the 15,000 local elementary school children will eat this fall as a result of a new concept in school lunches offered by Mass Food and Company of Elk Grove Village. It started 9 years ago when the Anaconda Alhambra County
I remember when Aunt Shirley used to sleep.
and the Anaconda Aluminum Company was trying to find a new market for the aluminum. The idea of school lunches pre-packaged and pre-frozen in minimum containers will be brought to study begun. Lee Phillip has a report. 9 years and more than $1 million worth of research later, Mass Feeding Corporation emerged with and ready to serve the airwood of its first plant. The company headed by Robert J. Viney no longer is commended with Anaconda Ed McQuiston, market manager for the corporation, is confident now an idea will catch on. Although Mass Feeding now has only one factory kept in a trend at 241,000 lunches per day, by the end of the first decade of existence, it's expected to have grown 60 such modules over the country, similar to the one in Elk Grove. Why is Mass Feeding so unique? McQuiston said the concept of her prolific shape before. Because we can provide all the equipment, these sources and the disposal facilities, as well as the freezers and frozen lunches, and train the help. All for 48 cents per lunch. This all falls under the National School Lunch Act, so the schools can still collect federal aid. The Trump card is that no capital outlay is called and collected from the school. Each mine is requested to contain 2 ounces of protein, 3/4 cups of carbohydrates, a slice of bread and butter, and a half pint of whole milk. All 15 of Mass Feeding menus fulfill the federal government's requirements of the Type A lunch described as about several school districts in the area already signed contracts to try the program this fall. More than 15,000 children in District 21 in Wheeling, District 94 in Schaumburg, and Hoffman Estates, and District 62 in DePlain will participate in the program this fall. McQuiston and Mass Feeding are planning on serving 50,000 lunches a day by next May. The program was tried on an experimental basis by District 98 at Dempster Junior High in Prospect and Salt Creek School in Elk Grove Village for 2 months last spring. The program is definitely a success, and we are trying to get a contract with the district for all their lunches this fall. McQuiston said District 59, however, Tech Fed this week that the spring trial period was inadequate too. Fully implementing the program on a district basis, and said the experiment will be continued in another year. So accepted the way the program works as a simple. McQuiston said it was a foolproof. All the frozen lunches for an entire week are delivered to the school in the beginning of the week. There's freezer space to hold them all. Someone hired by the school heats a special high-speed oven and inserts a full packages for a preset period of time depending on the menu. The lunch will take 12 to 18 minutes to eat. While the lunches are heating, the dietitian says the disposable cardboard trays and distributes the bread and butter, milk, and disposable plastic silverware. The entree trays were in the heart are inserted special slots in the trays, and the children can pick them up in a very short period of time. Disposal simple, everything that's thrown out.
Black hair is wearing a distinctive
Except the aluminum entree trays. They are put in a special machine which rinses the food off. Then it sets the garbage disposal which crushes them. The trays are then resold in the aluminum company when they trade at distribution costs. I don't know of anyone who can offer the same amount of services and the same amount of money, McQuiston said. He said most school cafeterias operate on a deficit because of the extensive kitchen facilities they met install. Lee Phillip, WBBM TV News, in
his possession. Griffin is
Elk Grove. Good. In Washington, President Nixon plans a comprehensive review of the Vietnam War tomorrow at the Camp David presidential retreat. He met with National Security Council yesterday and plans another meeting today, which he did. Talks yesterday reported did not deal with either the Vietnam War or the Israeli conflict, but a White House spokesman would not cover subjects of the talk. In Chicago, a policeman's son grabbed his father's revolver, killed him, and a woman was killed and turned when he opened fire on another policeman yesterday. Police said the shootings occurred when Paul F. Thompson, 59, a policeman, visited the home of a family friend, Miss Pearl Olson, 49. The young Thompson, also named Paul, was at the house and apparently shot his father and Mrs. Olson before his father partner killed the 26-year-old. Chicago Cook County Circuit Judge F. Emmett Morrissey was wounded yesterday by a motorist who fired 5 shots at the judge after their cars collided on a West Side Street. Morrissey, 6'4", was taken to West Suburban Hospital in Oak Park, where his condition was listed as good.
Police were called to Magnolia Street and SWAT.
Washington continues strike in the Middle East, and disarmament are expected to dominate discussion next week between William P. Rogers, Secretary of State, and Andre Gromyko, Soviet Foreign Minister. The two will meet for the first direct talks when the United Nations General Assembly convenes in New York.
Kimberly English teaches at Ingalls Elementary.
Rogers will address the General Assembly on Monday. Bangkok, Thailand, the United States, and Thailand have reached preliminary agreements on the number of American troops to be withdrawn from Thailand. Prime Minister Thailand Kachan said yesterday, can't say how many men would be involved, but they indicated that it will represent only a small portion of 48,000 Americans slaves landed in the country. Nairobi, Nashan Isaac. Nijenga Nurkoki, 54, Kyon Trasman was found guilty yesterday and sentenced to hung for the July 5th murder of Tom Mabaya, Kenyan Minister for Economic Planning. He is 14 days appeal the sentence. Nurjobi denies murdering Mendy. The assassination caused travel clashes that had to be put down by Army patrols. Brent Musburger at the sports and John Coughlin whatever after this commercial break. Enjoy the refreshment where the action is at Sears Anniversary Days. Sears Mini Refrigerator fits in anywhere. Have the smart little step saver in your rec room where the action is. Corp tone finish, exterior smart, and most every decor only 33 inches high. Fits under most 34.5 inches counters for a built-in look. Our standalone has push button defrost, big machine type cooling system, deep freezer, 2 ejector trays, then enjoys a pleasure of a mini refrigerator at the low price. Our lowest price ever, 4.5 cubic foot model, just $84.99. And this is solid state 7-speed blender at $18.99. And this is a toaster, a mixer, a can opener, and a percolator, all $6.99. You can get it at Sears Anniversary Days. Okay, sports time. Brent Musburger with sports. Take it away, Brent. Okay, thank you, Wayne. Tonight, the Cubs, who are one game behind the New York Mets for first place in the National League East, will start tonight in Philadelphia's Shibe Park for a date with the Philadelphia Phillies. Selma Miaman for the Cubs, while James Miaman for the Philadelphia Phillies. The New York Mets played on Monday at Shea against the Montreal Expos, and
Is extraordinary. West to south westerly wind. And
the Mets blanked the Montreal Expos 4-0.
New Hampshire and northern Mass, even all the way on down to Marshfield.
As Gary Gentry got the win, he'll go to 11-11 on the season.
The islands, the dew point, anything over 70 is oppressive. Look at most of our area just below Boston.
And if the
Above that,
Cubs win, they'll be tied for first place with the Mets for the first place in the NL East.
for watch. In effect, for West
The White Sox will be at Sox Park tonight, taking on the Minnesota Twins.
Worcester, I think you can see these storms. Some of them are strong coming out of Pennsylvania, New York State, but they're headed up, continuing to.
How do you sing Goodbye, Allie and French?
That's what we're dealing with. Well, the lightning has been around and hail with these storms as well.
Looking this up.
But back here,
How do you, Allie?
front is.
Allie Chapman's hapless New York Giants, winless in 4 exhibition games, take the traveling show to Montreal tonight for a game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Montreal is trying to promote pro football for its hockey-oriented and hockey-oriented
On into
farm.
morning, away from the general.
And fans, as the French are quick to praise and just rapid in their disavowals or poor play. Another poor performance by the Giants could bring on the shower of hats and overshoes usually reserved for the ice at the Forum. Fran Tarkenton had one of the better games last week in the New York's 2027 loss to Minnesota. He threw 2 touchdown passes and connected on 25-35. Passes for 24 yards, but his defense caved in. Pittsburgh is in the press, plumb to display before the uncharted territory.
Umberto way out.
Evers. The Steelers are 1-3 in preseason action. There are disappointing turnout in the other American program played at Montreal when Detroit beat Boston on August 25th. There's a pot full of final National Football League exhibition games this weekend. The American Football League opens its regular season play on Sunday. On Friday, the Bears will be at Wrigley taking on the St. Louis Cardinals, and New Orleans plays at Detroit. Saturday's games will be Green Bay and Atlanta,
Possibly during the game.
at Canton, Ohio, Cleveland versus Minnesota at Akron, Ohio, and Los Angeles versus San Francisco at Anaheim, California.
Here's the way.
Washington is at Philadelphia on Sunday, and Baltimore plays Dallas on Sunday. In one of more significant moves, Wednesday the St. Louis Cardinals acquired 32-year-old quarterback King Hill from the Minnesota Vikings for backup single column and punting
Sunday afternoon should take.
chores. The Detroit Lions put defensive tackle Chuck Szymanski, a 7-year veteran, on waivers and obtained defensive tackle Dan Gulich from St. Louis, and the Los Angeles Rams traded defensive lineman Dave Cahill to Atlanta for a future draft choice injury-plagued Jimmy Ray, a defensive back who came to the Eagles. The trade with Los Angeles was placed on waivers. And Breeden linebacker was a 3-year veteran, was cut by Washington. Green Bay sent quarterback Billy Stevens and defensive back Leon Harden to the Packer taxi squad. And New Orleans trimmed the wide receiver Oli Cotto to get to the 44-player limit.
And that is certainly sweet.
And at Penn State, the school would help restore them respectively to Eastern football, enter the new campaign of the candidates most likely to get the nation's most popular and national escape powerful Penn State, possessor of college football's longest unbeaten streak, is unbeaten in the past 19 games, and the Nittany Lions juggernaut is elected to slow down during 6-9. Coach Joe Paterno's Lions hasn't changed much from last year's when they had a 10-0 regular season record and crowned their performance with a triumph over Kansas in the Orange Bowl. The Lions returned 56 win this season and seem destined to keep on rolling the fall of the class of Eastern football. The returnees in the Lions den includes All-American linebacker Donnie Anokota, defensive tackles Mike Reed and Steve Smear, running back Charlie Pittman, and quarterback Chuck Burkhardt. Alright, sports. That's it for sports. Brett Musbury now. Weather with John Coleman. Take it away, John. Alright, thank you, Brett and Wayne. Current conditions at 5 p.m. Ports. It is 74 out in Midway and in O'Hare, and the number goes the same for Glenview and in West Chicago, and up in North Chicago, and down in Joliet, and down in Gary, Indiana. It's got a 74-degree reading also.
Which kicks off in about 26 hours. Patriots have a long
Weather around the nation. Today, cloudy weather prevailed over much of the Atlantic states today. Showers fell over widely scattered sections of the
4-8 in Foxborough, 1-1 in playoff games, and they are
Southern Plains states and the Rockies, the Lower Ohio Valley, and the extreme southern Florida. Showers and
We're going to need to be on our game. We're going to have to be better.
storms also fell in northern Texas and northern Oklahoma. Hot weather continued to prevail in the interior of the southwest with widespread sunshine a mile wide air.
Responsibility that we have to
So Arch. Forecast goes like this. For tonight, clear skies, low about 65 degrees, and tomorrow, partly sunny, warm high 75. And that's going to be it, wherever. I'm John Coughlin. And that's going to be it for the 5 o'clock report on WBBM Channel 2 on this September 11th, 1969 on Tuesday. I'm Wayne Ferris, and I hope you have a good evening. And coming next will be the CBS Evening News, Walter Cronkite. And WBBM Channel 2 News will be back at 6. Have a good evening.